Good Friday afternoon. This is Stacy Emmer.
And Rich Viola.
And we're here for our T.G.I.F vlog. And today's topic is all about influence.
So top things to do, or top 5 things to do to gain influence or have more influence. And then on the flip side of that, maybe the top things not to do if in fact you would like to have a higher degree of influence. And so starting off, should be no surprise, being authentic and real would be a good starter.
Yes, absolutely. And so, at the end of the day, people want to know who you are. So, and some people don't like to open up very much. And, I found that if you are one of those people that don't like to share that much about yourself, if you ask questions of others and engage them in a conversation, you will get a higher degree of comfort around that. You'll end up not having to share as much, but you will be asking questions of interest around them.
And what you'll find is typically people will likely reciprocate that, and it leads to the next top thing to do, which would be listen for true understanding. So many of us work and live busy lives that
or soundbite.
Soundbite, and you're distracted and you're trying to do multiple things at once while you're having a conversation. So again, you really have to be present in the moment, listen and understand. And a good way to make sure that you do understand is to play back what you think you heard. And I think when you do that with each other, again, it leads to the next top thing to do, which is build trusting relationships.
Yes, and you have to give trust to get trust. And, that part of that is vulnerability as well.
Absolutely.
And some people have a really hard time with that aspect of leadership.
And so, again, if you're being real and authentic, and if you're listening for true understanding, you're building those types of relationships, the next two are much easier to do and achieve. And one is being objective and understanding the bigger picture. Keep that in mind whenever you're approaching a topic or proposing a solution or trying to problem solve. Make it bigger than this piece.
Yeah, so when people start to want to serve their own agenda, open it up and remind everyone that we're here for the organization.
And then the other top, again, this is a shorter list, so we're only sharing 5. There are many other things to do, but be able to tell a compelling story. And, look for the win-win. Or what's good for the whole. Yes, you're trying to achieve something, get something, but at the end of the day, if you truly went through these other steps, you have a better understanding of the other group or the other individual's frame of reference and what they're dealing with and what might benefit them. So what we need or want may not always gel well with others, and so then there's that compromise that needs to take place or negotiating. But typically, if you follow these top 5 items, you'll be in a much better state and level to be able to influence others. Now, on the reverse side of that, top 5 things not to do, one of which would be guarded or defensive or overly critical.
Yes, so, we have seen many people start out always with what's wrong. And so, we suggest starting out meetings with, what's going well, celebrate your wins and successes, because we will always get to what's wrong.
Next one, not listening. So again, if you're really having a conversation and you go away, or you have to have people repeat themselves.
Or you're on your phone, or you're typing, or, everybody thinks they're such good multitaskers, and quite frankly, I don't think we are very good at it. And we're constantly bombarded with distractions. So when Rich had said earlier, be present, that's the most respectful thing you can do for and with another human, is to be present in the moment of the conversation.
And don't make it about or you or just about you or your own agenda. You may have something hot and heavy on your mind that you need to share and vent. That's all well and good, but make sure that you express that up front and then peel that back. And again, what's better for the whole? How did we get here? Put some context around it. Try not to jump to conclusions about certain things. And this is related to compelling storytelling. Don't rely solely on the data. Data is king these days. It's like the new gold. If you have the data to back you up, which is great, we firmly believe in that and recommend that. But it's also good to be able to tell a compelling story that you get beyond the data and you really get to what the other individual or group might desire and how that might impact their world, your world, and the betterment of the whole organization or team that you're working with. The last one, I think we all know some of these folks, being overly arrogant or narrow-minded, so you're not really open to other ideas. You come across as a know-it-all, and that's really not good. I don't know where anyone has been able to influence and have too many followers in a leadership role if you're in that boat. So thanks for joining us, and
TGIF.
here's to your influence. Cheers.